Hello good people, welcome to my channel. Once again, thank you very much for taking your time to be part of this. Now today we want to try and understand one man, Mr. Wiliam Musalia Mudavadi. Wiliam Musalia Mudavadi is a man on a mission. He is a man on a political mission, and he is trying to play his cards under the table. In this video, I want to try and look at what Musalia Mudavadi is up to. I'm saying this based on what happened recently when the Oka team met to give us a presidential candidate. All the other Oka principals were available, but there was one man who was conspicuously missing, one Musalia Mudavadi. When the Oka team members were asked about his absence, they downplayed all this and said that Kenyans should not read too much. They explained that Musalia Mudavadi was attending to some party matters and that sooner he would join them. This is the reason why we want to try and unearth the political mission that Musalia Mudavadi is trying to pursue. It is crystal clear that Musalia Mudavadi is detaching himself from the Oka team. Otherwise, why would he boycott such a crucial meeting if he was keen on working with his brothers Kalonzo Musyoka, Gideon Moi, and Moses Wetangula? And so the begging question is that if Honorable Musalia Mudavadi does not want to work with the Oka members, where else does he want to go? There must be a way in which Musalia Mudavadi wants to conduct his politics. There are only three possibilities. There are only three ways Musalia Mudavadi can conduct his presidential campaigns. Musalia Mudavadi can decide to go it alone and ascend to presidency. The presidential race is fashioning itself as a race between two horses. That of Azimio, led by Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. The other is the UDA, led by Dr. Wiliam Samoei Ruto. And so if Mudavadi does not want to go it alone, he could join the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga or work with Dr. Wiliam Samoei Ruto. And so we want to look at these three possibilities. If Musalia Mudavadi is not working with the Oka team, he will be doing either of the three that I've talked about. In trying to look at exactly where he is headed, I want to base my reasoning on the following factors. Number one, that politics is about personal interests. Personal interest could be the politician and his family, the politician and the people around him, and the politician and his supporters or his community. That is number one. Number two, I want to consider the fact that our politics, the Kenyan politics, is largely rooted and based on tribalism and geographical regions where we come from. I will explain that. Number three, or the third factor that I want to look at as I try to explain where Mudavadi could be headed to, I want to look at the fact that every politician has a price tag, or rather money. Money plays a very big role in our politics, and every politician from the MCA, the member of parliament, the senate, the governor, all the way to the presidency, has a price tag. I also want to look at the fourth factor, which is a political background. You see, when you want to understand someone, a seasoned politician like Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, you need to look at his background, his political history. We will be looking at that. The fifth factor that I'll also be looking at to try and explain the motives behind Honorable Musalia Mudavadi is what I call political pride. And so walk with me as I try and unmask what Musalia Mudavadi could be hiding. Let me start by asking, can Honorable Musalia Mudavadi go to the polls alone? The answer is yes, but the chances are very slim. The answer is yes because I want to look at the history of Musalia Mudavadi, and I will go back, I will take you back to the year 2013. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi had just teamed up with Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, among others. He ditched Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga at the last minute, and he went and contested alone with one honorable from central Kenya, Honorable Jeremiah Kioni, as the vice president. And so, based on that history, Musalia Mudavadi could just decide to go it alone. Whether he wins or not is not a problem, because if Musalia Mudavadi runs alone without teaming up with other potential presidential candidates, it will only mean one thing, that perhaps he's not interested in winning the presidency. And in politics, people have different motives. And so I want to eliminate this chance that he will go it alone. The chances are very slim, and I don't think he can go it alone. I don't think he's got the finances to mount a campaign worth a presidential candidate. I highly doubt. And so I don't think Honorable Musalia Mudavadi will run alone. The other day, he called a press conference and he said that they will have their NDC meeting, the National Delegates Conference, on 23rd, just a few days from today, and that Kenyans should expect a major announcement, that he will tell Kenyans what next, his political course. In fact, he described it as an announcement that will shake the country like earthquake. We are waiting, but before that, we want to understand him. If he's not going to run alone, then it means there are only two possibilities remaining: that he can join the Azimio or work with Dr. Wiliam Samoei Ruto. And so we want to find out, based on the factors that I gave you, where do you think Honorable Musalia Mudavadi will be comfortable going to? Who do you think he will be comfortable working with? Allow me to build my case as I try to eliminate the possibility of working with one of them. Recently, it was reported by one of the mainstream media that the President, His Excellency Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, called the Oka team for a meeting. And in the meeting, he tried to persuade them to join hands and support Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. That was not the first meeting. To my recollection, I believe it was the last meeting that the President ever held with the Oka team. Now, the Oka team somehow was rattled by this act by the President to try and persuade them to support Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. I'm saying this because when they came out of the meeting, they made it very categorical that no one would coerce them into supporting any presidential candidate. Because in their own words, they thought, or they said, that they are a formidable force and they've got what it takes to lead this country. So they refused. When Raila Amolo Odinga was going to launch his presidential bid in Kasarani, he extended an olive invitation to one Honorable Musalia Mudavadi and the Oka team at large. Musalia Mudavadi declined this invitation, giving what I would call a flimsy excuse. I think he was somewhere in Mombasa. He refused to come. A few days later, after that launch, Musalia Mudavadi lost his stepmother, and Raila Amolo Odinga unexpectedly attended the burial. A move that many saw as an attempt to try and win back Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. But it looks that he is being very elusive for Raila Amolo Odinga. The president tried. He refused. Raila himself tried, and it seems that he declined. And so, can he go to the Azimio? The answer is yes. But again, the chances are very small. The chances are very minimal. It is very unlikely that he is keen on working with the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. In fact, on several occasions, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi has said that when they were in NASA, Raila Amolo Odinga promised them that he had just one remaining bullet that he was going to use. Apparently, what he means is that Raila promised them that that was the last time he was going to contest, and that whether he won or not, he was going to support one of the NASA principles. And so, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi feels that Raila Amolo Odinga should exit politics and support one of them. This is another reason why I feel that perhaps he is unlikely to work with Raila Amolo Odinga. I'm not saying that he cannot, but I'm saying that the chances are very minimal. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi has also accused the ODM party, whose leader is Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, of bullying other parties, the smaller parties in NASA. He said that the distribution of the money that they were supposed to rightfully get became an uphill task. In fact, even though the Secretary Generals of the other NASA affiliate parties confirmed that the parties got their share of the money, it was after a lot of struggle, push and pull. And so these are the factors that makes me feel that it's not very easy for Mudavadi to work with Raila Amolo Odinga. Can he work with Wiliam Samoei Ruto? The answer is yes. And the chances are very high that he would go and work with the ODA. In fact, on 23rd, when they meet in Bomas of Kenya to discuss several critical and crucial matters that pertain to their party, I believe one of the major discussions and one of the major agenda that is going to take center stage is that of the possibility of them working with the UDA. I have a feeling that this is the main and the major agenda. Others could be what I may term A or B. Having eliminated the two possibilities of one, Musalia Mudavadi going into the poll salon, not because it is impossible, but because of the slim chances, and that of Honorable Musalia Mudavadi working with Raila Amolo Odinga, not because it is impossible, but because the chances, like I said, are small. So we are left with one possibility that, from where I sit, I think is possible, is that of Musalia Mudavadi working with Wiliam Samoei Ruto. And so this takes me to the gist of this video now. Why do you think Honorable Musalia Mudavadi would want to work with Wiliam Samoei Ruto and not Raila Amolo Odinga. I have touched on a few things, but now I will go deeper and explain why I think he feels safer working with the UDA party. And my number one reason is this. I want to go back towards the factors that I mentioned, that our politics is largely based on the regions where we come from, the geographical setup, and the ethnicity and the tribes that we belong. This factor will determine where Mudavadi would want to go if you compared Raila Amolo Odinga and Wiliam Samoei Ruto. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi is a seasoned politician. He has been close to power. In the Moi era, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi ascended to one of the most prestigious ministerial positions. He was the cabinet minister for finance. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi has also been the vice president of this country, albeit for a short period, and I think the shortest period in the Kenyan history, or one of the shortest period. And so, if you look at the prevailing political circumstances that we have, it is likely that Honorable Mudavadi can only accept or would want to accept just two positions. One is that of a running mate to a serious presidential candidate that will culminate into becoming the deputy president of Kenya. If he doesn't become the deputy president, then the only other position he would want is to become the president of this great republic. And so, can we look at the geographical setup? Raila Amolo Odinga and Honorable Musalia Mudavadi come from the larger Western Kenya. And our politics as it is today has been fashioned in a way that Raila Amolo Odinga, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, cannot pick someone from his region. He cannot pick, for example, he is a Luo. He cannot pick another Luo as his running mate. He cannot pick someone from Kuria as his running mate. He cannot pick someone from Nyanza. And it is very unlikely that he can pick someone from Western. Because Nyanza province, the larger former provinces, Nyanza province and Western province, I would say, are neighbors. They are close to each other. Raila Amolo Odinga comes from Nyanza province and Musalia Mudavadi comes from Western province. If they team up together, they will have locked the whole country. They will have locked other provinces outside. And Raila Amolo Odinga, being a serious contender in this race, must extend an olive branch to the coastal region, northeastern region, central region, eastern, and the whole country at large. He cannot appoint or choose Honorable Musalia Mudavadi as his running mate. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi can work with Wiliam Ruto as a running mate, because Rift Valley region, where deputy president comes from, geographically is not very much close to Western as compared to Nyanza. Wiliam Ruto has campaigned in Central, And most people think and feel that he's probably going to choose a running mate from Central. That is very much possible. But there is also another possibility that he can pick a running mate outside, from outside Central. William Ruto has mastered the art of appealing himself to the Central people and especially the youths. And he's telling them that he will make sure that he gives 100 billion Kenyan shillings to resuscitate and expand their businesses. He's selling the bottom-up economy to them so much that they have embraced it. And so he can go and pick someone away from Central. Then he will explain to the youths who are seen to be his major supporters that the person he is teaming up with will help him achieve the agenda of the bottom up and all the other things that he has talked about. So he can still hold on to his support base in Central and pick up a running mate from somewhere. And Mudavadi can fit in that position of a running mate. So looking at the geographical regions that I talked about, because I said that these are the factors that I will base my reasoning on. Musalia Mudavadi would rather work with the deputy president than join the Azimio team. Because when he goes to Raila, he will give him the support, but he will be told, maybe wait until we form the government, then we may perhaps bring back the BBI, create positions, and then we will see where you fit. But with William Ruto, he can still get what he wants instantly, a running mate position. And so, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi would work with Ruto based on that factor. The second reason why I feel that Honorable Musalia Mudavadi would work with Ruto is this. You see, I told you that money plays a very big role in our politics. You see, I told you that money plays a very big role in our politics. And I also mentioned that every politician has a price tag. If Musalia Mudavadi joins Deputy President Wiliam Samoei Ruto and he does not get the running mate position, what else will he get from Honorable William Ruto? He cannot be promised positions when Honorable Ruto ascends to power. Why? Our own Deputy President has always been against the creating of very many positions. He did not support the BBI. In fact, he campaigned against it. He even went to court and won that case. He does not support BBI. He does not support creating of posts. In fact, in his campaigns, he says that we are not supposed to be creating posts today. We are supposed to be working on the agenda to uplift the lifestyle of our people. And so when Musalia Mudavadi goes to William Ruto, there are not going to be promises of him getting anything. What can he get? Our deputy president is a philanthropic politician. He gives money to the hustlers. He meets mama mbogas. He gives 1,000,000 shillings. When he meets some border youth groups, he gives them not less than 1,000,000 shillings. 1,000,000 Kenya shillings, even the toughest economy that we have today, is not small money. And so if our deputy president can give out such amount of money to the hustlers, how much more do you think he can decide to give as a token of appreciation to the support and allegiance that Mudavadi will bring to him? Every politician has a price tag. Musalia Mudavadi has a price tag, as is all other politicians. And so you can tell him, name your price, quote it, so that we can work together. Do you think Honorable Musalia Mudavadi can be appreciated with money in Azimio? Can he tell Raila and the Azimio team that, I'm going to support you, but I need 100 million? On this one, I would say no. Raila Amolo Odinga is a man who believes that this country does not need tokens. He has always been the #1 critic of Wiliam Ruto's style of politics of dishing out money. In fact, he tells his supporters that the money that they are receiving back is the money that Dr. Wiliam Ruto has stolen from the public coffers. He even says that such kind of politics and those who practice them only belong to jail. And so the Azimio team will not give Honorable Musalia Mudavadi anything in terms of money. Like I said, they can only promise him some goodies, some positions. When they are sent to power, bring back BBI, pass it in accordance to the instructions of the Kenyan judicial courts, and then they can reward one Musalia Mudavadi. And so on that second reason, Musalia Mudavadi would rather work with Wiliam Samoei Ruto and not Azimio. My third point is this. Again, work with me and allow me to build my case. On 31st of December last year, the Kotu Secretary General arranged for a Mulembe rally, a Mulembe meeting in Buhungu Stadium. In the meeting, he invited the politicians who matter in this country. You see, the Kotu Secretary General is not your ordinary man. He's a man who can determine politics in a Western. And so when he arranged for this meeting, he invited Mudavadi to attend. Mudavadi was not keen on joining this. Perhaps he had read some mischief. He declined. Just the same way he declined the invitation to attend the Right Honorable's day to launch his presidential bid, he also refused to attend the Buhungu meeting. Several things happened in Buhungu. It was thronged to capacity. Politicians attended in their numbers. Governors, senators, members of parliament and the MCAs. The Azimio leader, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, was there. In fact, he made a triumphant entry in Buhungu Stadium. Several things happened. One, the Mulembe Nation, at least those who attended the meeting, read a resolution, and in that resolution they supported Raila and accepted them as their presidential candidate. Number two, Raila Amolo Odinga accepted several politicians who had defected from Musalia Mudavadi to join him. They also appointed Honorable Oparanya to be the lawyer spokesperson. You see, this position had been held hitherto that day by one Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. And so what happened is that they stripped off Musalia Mudavadi of his royal robes. Royalty here meaning a Luya kingpin. And they dressed Honorable Oparanya in those very same robes. What does this mean? It means that from that day, Honorable Oparanya was going to be like a lawyer kingpin, and they rallied their support behind him. And so it begs for one question. If the NDC resolves the National Delegates Conference that is going to be held in Bomas on 23rd, if it resolves that Musalia Mudavadi should work with Azimio, is he going to play second fiddle to Honorable Oparanya? Because Honorable Oparanya is like a general who has been given the robe with all the medals and given the mandate to carry the Luya nation on his shoulder. So when Musalia Mudavadi joins the Azimio, he is like a soldier, a junior soldier, political speaking, who will be taking orders from his senior, from a general who is Wycliffe Oparanya. If you look at the Mulembe political hierarchy, Musalia Mudavadi is more senior. He's senior to Oparanya. But Honorable Oparanya has been loyal to Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And so what I'm saying in a nutshell is that Honorable Musalia Mudavadi would find it very difficult to come and work with Azimio, based on the fact that on that day in Buhungu Stadium, they invaded his territory, took his members of parliament, they defected enemas, I would call. They appointed someone and they agreed that the train has left. In fact, from where I sit, I believe that the Kutu Secretary General and Right Honorable Amolo Odinga with the team decided on that day that they are not going to try and lure Musalia Mudavadi anymore. The train is gone and they are not looking back. If Musalia Mudavadi joins Wiliam Ruto, for example, he will go there in his royalty, in his Major General robes. Why? You see, every time Dr. Wiliam Samoei Ruto goes to Western, he calls Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula Omwami. And he's been consistently asking the Luhya nation to allow him work, allow him talk and work with the two members. In other words, in UDA, the considered Luhya kingpin in their camp is Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. And so Dr. William Ruto would welcome Musalia Mudavadi and somehow appoint him the Luhya kingpin. Even though Dr. Wiliam Samoei Ruto has criticized regional-based parties, he would still want to work with individuals from several regions. And that's why he's yearning and looking for Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula. I want to bring him the pride factor. I told you that pride also plays a very big factor in politics. You see, Musalia Mudavadi is a seasoned politician. What happened in Buhungu took away his pride. And the very same pride will not make him come back to Azimio. And so he will proudly go to UDA and parade William Ruto, traverse Western Kenya, trying to sell William Ruto, even though Dr. William Ruto has been in Western to sell his policies, and some of them have embraced him. And so Musalia Mudavadi, based on that third factor, that there is a Luhya spokesman who has taken his place in Azimio, and there is no any other spokesman, Luhya spokesman in UDA, it is like a seat waiting for him. He's being beckoned. Please come and occupy your seat as the Luhya kingpin, as the Mulembe general. He would easily go and occupy his seat, because on this other side, that seat already has someone. Honorable Wycliffe Oparanya is comfortable sitting on that seat, and I don't think he's coming back. That is my fourth reason. My very last reason why I think Honorable Musalia Mudavadi would work with UDA comfortably compared to Raila Amolo Odinga is this. And again, allow me to build my case. In the year 2002, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga dissolved his party and joined KANU. In fact, he dethroned the then Secretary General Joseph Kamodo, and he became the Secretary General of the oldest party, KANU. A few months later, the late President Daniel Toroitich arap Moi preferred one Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta as his presidential candidate. Raila Amolo Odinga was rattled and walked away. He did not walk alone. In the team was the late Joseph Kamodo, the late George Saitoti. There was Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka and Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, was among the team that walked away from Kanu. The country was yearning for change, and they were tired of Kanu. They kept on urging the opposition leaders, because there were many, to work together. On this side, when Raila walked away, they formed Liberal Democratic Party with the team that I have just mentioned. On the other end was another organized team led by our former president, Emilio Stanley Mwai Kibaki. He was there with the late Michael Kijana Wamalwa and Honorable Charity Ngilu, now one of the most charismatic governors. And so Kenyans kept on urging this team, because Mwai Kibaki was leading the NAK party, the National Alliance Party, and Mudavadi and the likes was leading Liberal Democratic Party. As I said, the NAK, the National Alliance Party, was much more organized, because they had arranged their team. Emilio Kibaki was to become the president, with Michael Kijana Wamalwa as the vice president. On this side, because it was an arrangement that came up very fast after the fallout with Kanu, they were not as much organized as National Alliance Party of Kenya. Sources say that Honorable Musalia Mudavadi looked like one of the most senior politicians on that end. And so the LDP, the Liberal Democratic Party, were working towards choosing Honorable Musalia Mudavadi to be their presidential candidate. And at the last minute, he ditched them. He joined KANU and he was made a vice president for, I think, only 3 months. I'm looking at the third factor. I told you, every politician has his history. And for you to understand them, we want to look at their history. So he did them at the very last moment, at a very critical moment, when they needed him the most. You know what happened? It forced Raila to settle on Mwai Kibaki, because in his very considered opinion, he thought it was only Mwai Kibaki who could now beat the then what they termed as the Project Uhuru. So they teamed up together, and Mwai Kibaki won that election, and they worked together. The election that followed was in the year 2007. Musalia Mudavadi, after being in the cold, came back because Raila Amolo Odinga had ideological differences with Mwai Kibaki. They had disagreed, and he was going it alone. He decided to take on Mwai Kibaki. Musalia Mudavadi came back, and Raila Amolo Odinga magnanimously accepted Musalia Mudavadi. In fact, after the nominations, Raila Amolo Odinga became a presidential candidate, and Mudavadi was a running mate who was to become the vice president. The same Musalia Mudavadi who had ditched them at a critical moment in 2002 was now the vice president of Raila Amolo Odinga. That was the year 2007. They did not win that election, and you know what happened. There were chaos, and Raila Amolo Odinga became the Prime Minister, with Musalia Mudavadi, the Deputy Prime Minister. In 2013, having worked together with Raila Amolo Odinga, Musalia Mudavadi started showing signs of a man on a mission, just like he's on a mission today. And after a lot of speculations, he ditched Raila Amolo Odinga when Raila needed him the most. He went alone with Jeremiah Kioni as is his running mate. We all know that even in the polling station where Jeremiah Kioni was voting, he got not a single vote. You know what happened? Raila did not win that election. It ended up in court, and the then Chief Justice declared the elections were fair and verifiable. In the year 2017, Musalia Mudavadi again teamed up with Raila Amolo Odinga, and Raila accepted him back, and they worked together. What is my point? My third point, why I feel Honorable Musalia Mudavadi will work with Dr. Wiliam Ruto is this. You see, Raila Amolo Odinga has got a soft spot for Musalia Mudavadi. Musalia has consistently ditched Raila at a critical moment when Raila needs him the most. But when he comes back, Raila will always accept him with open hands. And so if Musalia Mudavadi joins William Ruto today, he is safe. Because if William Ruto wins the elections, Musalia Mudavadi will be on the winning team. In the event that Raila Amolo Odinga wins, Musalia Mudavadi will cruise very fast, and he will come back to Raila, and with open hands, Raila Amolo Odinga will accept Musalia Mudavadi as I have demonstrated. They will work together. Because I still believe that Raila Amolo Odinga loves the Mulembe nation. In fact, he has severally said that he comes from that lineage of Wanga. With those reasons that I have demonstrated, I believe that come the 23rd of this month, at the Bomas of Kenya, in their National Delegates Conference, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi and his team will resolve in one accord to work with the Honorable Deputy President Dr. Wiliam Samoei Ruto. Ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts. You may have an otherwise position from mine, but you will agree with me that this is a conversation that we need to keep going. Because in politics, there are no permanent enemies, neither do we have permanent friends. And in politics, nothing is impossible. Chances could be high or low, but nothing is impossible. What do you think? Because those are my thoughts. Let us keep on talking about this. Let us keep on this conversation going. If you're watching my channel for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button and join with the other team. By doing this, you are giving this channel the necessary support that it deserves. And when you subscribe, YouTube will automatically inform you when I do another video like this, because we are in a political season, we are in an electioneering year, and more of these videos will come up. This channel will not grow without you, so kindly give me a thumbs up, subscribe. You may disagree with me, but you believe that what I'm doing is great, because we need to have this conversation. Let us work together. Expect more video, and until such a time, thank you for watching once again. Bye.